Hey everybody, Rob Goody here, the MLM Solution. This is Monday, June 28th, the 28th of June. Currently 10:56 and 25 seconds after Eastern Standard Time. As you know, we go live each and every day, Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope everybody had a great weekend. We certainly did. Marie and I are both here today. And guess what? Today's episode is, you can see in the ticker for all of you on the podcast, guess what? Podcast number 2000. How to keep doing it? 206. Quickly racing towards that 300. It'll be here before you know it. Doing everything right, but still not succeeding. What do you do if you're doing everything right and you're still not getting anywhere? Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to take a deep dive into that today. Do not want to miss this episode. How frustrating would it be to be doing everything right and not getting anywhere? You'd be banging your head against the wall. We don't want you to do that. Join us today to find out what steps you need to take to make sure that this does not happen to you. All right. As always, please, we ask that you will share our podcast, our platforms, our website, everything with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. You can do that by simply taking a few seconds to share our hashtag, which is hashtag the MLM Solution. Again, hashtag the MLM Solution. And if you go to our website, themlmsolution.net, please hit the share button. It only takes a second or two to share our information with our fellow network marketers. Let them get empowered with this wonderful information so they can do great things with this business model. All right. And then you can start and be a part of that process, that positive process, by simply taking a few seconds to share our hashtag and to hit the share button on our website and social media platforms. All right. With that being said, I'm going to hop off here. We're going to be going live very shortly. I need to shut up and get off so we can get ready.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie and Marie Cannon.
I make boo-boo. I would fire that production man. I said I had done that.
Just a slight pause there. It's a Monday morning. Come on, we're all still waking up, right?
That's right. That's right. Oh, Miss Marie, did you have a great weekend?
I had a wonderful weekend. It cooled off just a little bit before we ramp up into hot temperatures again. So actually the weekend was very pleasant, enjoyable, relaxed, got a lot done. Yeah, can't complain. How about you?
Good. Well, we are now getting some of the weather that you had before. Before that, we had spring-like weather. Was enjoying every bit of it, and summer has certainly arrived here. It's good to know that you're getting more summer than we are for a change. And so we've been kind of taking it easy. Sold my Audi this weekend. And excuse me, folks. And getting ready to buy the wife an Audi Q7. So I got rid of an Audi A6 to get an Audi Q7.
And it makes you cough. It gets you all verklempt.
Oh, it does. Oh, man, I tell you, it's never ending. So, just change. Life changes, right? You just keep moving ahead. And it's all good. And we had a great weekend. It was very nice, very relaxing. The wife and I cleaned the house. We used to have two people that cleaned our house. And the wife said, you know what? I'm not happy with the cleaning. And I said, okay. She said, you are now the cleaner. And in other words, her and I.
And I would have been, now you're really not going to be happy.
So guess what? What we did this weekend, top to bottom, inside, outside, top to bottom, oof, and on top of everything else. So anyway,
not my favorite. I have to tell you, when even before Joe and I got married, we kind of talked through the, household chores, things like that. What do you like? What do you hate? What do you don't care? And both of us landed on we hated cleaning the kitchen and we hated cleaning the bathrooms. And we were both working full time at the time. So we're like, you know what? We're outsourcing that.
There you go. Good for you. There it is.
So with the exception of a very small window of time when we first moved here to Utah, we've always had someone take care of that for us. And that's a high value proposition for us. Our time is better spent doing other things.
I agree. That's the reason why we hired them, because it allowed us to do things we needed to do. I would be in the office while they were cleaning. But you know what? You got to make the wife happy. And the wife was not upset with them in any way. It was hard for her to let them go. But, she was not happy with how it was being cleaned. And, the cleaning's a personal thing. Everybody cleans it a different way, right? At a different level. And to be honest with you, the wife and I are pretty demanding. And I don't mean like over the top anal. Believe me, that's not me. But at the same time, being ex-military, I like everything in its place and I like everything clean. I used to get up every Saturday morning and, of course, have breakfast and everything. And by 8 or 9 o'clock, we as a family, when we were all together, and we clean, for the house until about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Everybody had a chore and we worked good as a team. So I've carried that on in my single life. And now the wife has sourced it out, like you said. And, I was enjoying that. But today was back to the grindstone. Or this weekend, not today. So anyway, Miss Marie, I had a good weekend. Thank you for asking. And today we have an interesting subject. You're doing everything right. How many times have you seen or have you personally experienced where you're doing everything right, but you didn't get the results that everyone else did or you expected from yourself or the situation? I think everybody has gone through that to some degree. Okay. And it can be very frustrating because you see other people sometimes doing it half-ass and still getting the results. And you're doing it. You say, well, I'm going to do better than that. And you do, and you don't get the results they did. Now, that can really upset you. And guess what? It's no different here. Miss Marie and I did episodes on, look, you just focus on you. Don't look around. We talked about peer pressure, didn't we, Miss Marie? We talked about don't put undue pressure on yourself. Don't judge your success compared to your peers and your downline and all that, especially when you get passed by your downline, which is humbling. But the thing is that you want to make sure that you are doing what you're supposed to do. That way, if you don't get the success that you are expecting or that you should get, we know where to look, right, Miss Marie? And I'm not necessarily saying you and I, but if you and I were evaluating somebody and they came to us, Miss Marie, and they proved to us that they were doing the 5 simple steps correctly and consistently, then you and I would be puzzled because we know that, okay, if they're doing this consistently and doing it right, and they showed me proof they're not getting the results they should. You and I both know right away that we got to look either at that person's oral skills, and I don't mean that in a sexual way. I need to clarify. Okay, talking about being a good communicator. How about that? All right, because the thing is you want to make sure that those people, they may be using the right words in the music to the ears message, but if their delivery is slow, if they mumble or it's so hard to hear, whatever the case may be, right, Miss Marie? There's so many hidden things that could cause you not to succeed. And where you should be sponsoring 2 to 3 people for every 10 that you talk, you're only getting 1, and you're going long periods without sponsoring anybody. But you're quote unquote doing all the 5 simple steps. Well, Miss Marie and I know, okay, they are in fact doing those 5 simple steps, but there's something else going on here. Okay. They're not using the scale of ambition right. They're not delivering the music to the ears message correctly. And I mean by volume, by confidence, and things like that. They may be using the exact words that we teach them, but they're not delivering them in a forceful leadership type way that exudes confidence, not only into themselves, but to their prospect, okay? That is huge. And a lot of people would never think about looking at that, Miss Marie. So guys, self-reflection can be a very humbling and hard thing for a lot of people to do. It's not for me. I can't speak for Miss Marie. I think she spoke on that before Miss Marie, are you a good stepper backer and look at yourself?
Typically, I'm able to step back and look at things semi-objectively. Obviously, when you're talking about yourself and your own performance, it's always good to have an outside perspective on it, because we do have our blind spots. I mean, we
Yep.
just naturally do. We can think we're looking at our own activities, our own business perfectly objectively, but we do have our blind spots. So that's where an outside consultant, coach, mentor, friend, neighbor, stranger walking down the street might be able to spot something that you're just missing that could make all the difference in the world.
That's right. And guys, you have to realize that there's a lot of potential landmines in the 5 simple steps. And I don't mean the 5 simple steps themselves. I'm talking about just what we talked about. If your volume in delivering the music to the ear's message, if your volume does not carry well and you're in a loud place like a Starbucks where there's a lot of mumbling and noise in the background, you may get drowned out. And that person may hear just the bits and pieces of it. And they may think to themselves, this person doesn't have a lot of confidence. I don't think they believe in what they're doing and what they're telling me. And to be honest with you, I can't even hear the whole message. They're not going to walk away impressed, right, Miss Marie? They're going to walk away saying, I don't want to be a part of somebody that is not willing to stand up and be excited about what they have. Speaking of excitement, guys, if you're not excited about what you have, if you're not excited about sharing it, if you're not excited about being around other people, it's going to come through, and that's another landmine, and you're doing everything right but still not getting success. Okay? If you're going on there and you're going, well, I got something really good, and it's something that I've been looking at for a long time, and I've got a lot of experience in this area. I mean, guys, there is nothing exciting, enticing, or engaging about that monotone delivery, right, Miss Marie? You got to talk fast. You got to have commands. You got to be a very good communicator and orator, which is 2 different things. Okay, and the thing is you want to make sure that you come across to them as a leader. And the only way you can do that, believe it or not, is talking fast. Now, I'm not saying talk fast like a salesman. That's not what I'm saying. But you got to pick up your pace a little bit. Your cadence has got to go up a tad. You have to learn. You have to force yourself, even if you have to get out there and focus. Get out there and practice. Walk around your house, whatever the case may be, and talk to yourself. As I told you, when I developed the music to the ear's message, I had to walk around and practice it over and over and over and over until I owned it. But additionally, as I told you guys before, when I first started the network marketing business, I was an introvert. Okay, hard to imagine, I know, but I was. And it took me a long time, but I worked at it. It took me a long time, okay, and I worked at it. Was I totally confident from day one delivering my message to people? No, absolutely not. It took, I didn't know how they were going to react. I didn't know if I was going to get it right. And you know what? I made mistakes. But I kept going, right, Miss Marie? And that's the thing. You got to keep going. And you cannot allow your small missteps to lead to big trips, if you will. In other words, trip and fall right on your face. Guys, you don't want that to happen. That means in order for that not to happen, you got to keep moving forward. And so what if you make a few mistakes here and there? So what if you lose a prospect here and there? That's part of the process. Okay? What you have to look at is the long game. You have to look at the ultimate goal here. And yes, you want to go as fast as you can. We say that all the time. But we also told you and have created episodes about how, once again, that this is a fluid business building process. It's not etched in stone. Yes, you're going to shoot for your 90-day goals. But when 90 days rolls around, if you've not met those goals, you can continue on, right, Miss Marie? You don't have to settle for what you got because it's the 90th day. No, all right? So once again, you're doing everything right and you're not getting the results. It tells Miss Marie and I right away to what? To look at you. Because you're physically doing those 5 simple steps, right, Miss Marie? They've got the leads coming in. They're contacting those leads. They're delivering the music to the ear's message. They're doing their follow-up. All of that. If you and I were to check, all of that is checking out all right. And that tells us to immediately look at them because there's something that they are doing that is undermining the progress that they're making with the 5 simple steps. Would you not agree?
I do agree very much. And while a lot of the focus is on the personal performance and perfecting that music to the ears message delivery and those types of things, there is one other area, and you mentioned it, but you didn't mention it as a potential pitfall. And that is, I've noticed people fishing in the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
And that has to do with the leads and the quality of the leads that they're addressing. So a lot of people starting out in the business, they're just talking to anyone and everyone, right? There's really no qualification going on. And this gets to the scale of ambition a little bit. You know, we want to go after those people who are self-motivated, driven, success-oriented already in their life, whether it's just the way they are personally or the current business that they're in, whether it's corporate, their own business, entrepreneurial, whatever it may be. The scale of ambition definitely plays a role as well. But the big mistake I see a lot of people make, especially early on, is they go after these free leads or the super cheap leads. And what you end up finding is a bunch of people looking for something for nothing. And that just makes your success rate drop like a rock. You can be doing everything right. You can be delivering the music to the ears message well. You can be, you know, well-spoken, self-confident, projecting the right image. You may have the best opportunity out there. You may have a track record of success that you can point to. But if you are talking to the wrong people, that's not going to work. It's kind of like when I was a little kid, we had a little pond in our neighborhood and we'd go fishing because it's a body of water, right? What do you do with a body of water? You want to fish it. Well, you either want to swim in it or you want to fish it, right? And it wasn't really good for swimming. So let's go fishing. So we'd go out there and we'd cast and we cast and we cast. And the neighbors thought we were nuts because everybody knew there weren't really any fish in there. Like maybe some people would dump off their old goldfish or something like that. Or maybe that's where a bunch of tadpoles were. But we weren't going to find any actual fish in there. So if we were looking for perch, bass, walleye, northern pike, you know, big fish, it's like, that's not coming out of that pond. You got to fish in the right body of water, right? So your leads have to be of a certain quality in order for you to experience that success as well. And I think that's one of the major pitfalls that people run into early on. It becomes super discouraging. And I think it's one of the big contributing factors to folks giving up too early in their business cycle to say, well, this isn't working.
Right. Very well put points. I couldn't agree more. And guys, look, there's other things. It's not just delivery. She's right about what she said. But you have to realize, look, your personality, if you're rough around the edges, the way you dress, the way you present yourself, and if you say, well, that's too much change, you know what, I am who I am, and by golly, this is the way it's going to be, and I ain't changing for nobody, well, good. Then the network marketing business may not be for you. And that leads to the other thing. Look, not everybody is made for network marketing. Your heart may not be in it. You may be intrigued to the moon about the business model, how it works, and the possibilities. But it doesn't mean that it's something like Miss Marie and I have a passion for. It comes naturally. It's not something that her and I conjure up every day. And, you know, if I was to get back into business, Miss Marie, I'd start salivating and drooling like a dog. Because I enjoy that activity. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the hand-to-hand combat, if you will. That's kind of a bad way to put it, but I mean the hand-to-hand action, you know, where you have to get out there and mix it up, right? And that really gets me going. I enjoy that. I like the recruiting process. I like people, and I like that challenge, you know. And but not everybody's made that way, obviously. And, you know, if you're not the type of person to get wrapped up or caught up in anything to the point where you're excited and giddy about it, once again, maybe the network marketing business model is not for you, because Miss Marie, just by nature, it's not always for everybody.
That is true also. And some people, you know, you have to actually experience it, get involved in it, give it a try to actually understand whether or not it really is for you. I mean, some people you present the opportunity to them, and when they find out it's multi-level marketing, network marketing, they poo-poo it and blow it off, and nope, they're not going to do it. And then suddenly you re-encounter them years later, and they've been in network marketing for a while, and they're wildly successful because, well, lo and behold, they were actually gifted at it. They were good at it. And once they actually tried it, they realized they liked it, right? It's like the old Life cereal commercial. Let Mikey try it. Oh, he tried it. He liked it. Hey, Mikey. So, but some people, it's the other way around too.
Yeah.
You kind of get caught up in that dream of having that time freedom, being your own boss, the potential to make a larger than life income on sometimes.
Uh-oh.
And some people start getting involved in it, and they realize what the day-to-day business building process is, and then they realize that no, that's really not for them. That's not something they want to do. So it takes that time being involved in actually trying it out and experiencing it to realize that no, that's not for them. And Rob, looks like we might have lost you because your image is frozen on my screen, or I'm froze. It's always hard to tell which side it is. Oh, is he back? There he is. I just finished my ramblings, and I was like, oh, looks like Rob's frozen. Oh no, he's back. Okay.
Oh, that sucks. I've not had a bit of trouble, and all of a sudden, bam, here you and I are.
It's a Monday.
It's a Monday. That's right. Okay, so, guys, once again, we touched on these subjects in various other episodes, but we never really focused in on you doing everything right and still not succeeding. That's the reason why we're touching on some of the subject matter that seems a little repetitive, but it's not, because now we're addressing it to where your frustration level is going to get to the point where you feel like you're not made for this business if you're not getting some kind of success. And we have to let you know, how would you say, the different potential pitfalls that the 5 simple steps have. And it's not just because it's the 5 simple steps. I don't care what business building system you use or whose, the bottom line is they all have faults, okay? And one of the faults that runs consistent, regardless of what business system that you choose, is you, just like me, because we're flawed human beings. We make mistakes. We get lazy. We say, oh, you take shortcuts. I don't need to use that. All of those are pitfalls, okay? Oh, I don't need to master that message. You know what? I'm a confident person anyway. And you know what? My confidence and my ability to speak and my overwhelming personality and the way I dress, you know what? That's going to make up for a lot. I'm not going to worry about that music to the ears message that's got these so-called keywords in it. And you know what? You take shortcuts. And all of those little things are going to add up to where you're going to be working your tail end off, and you're not succeeding on the level, or you're not succeeding at all. And you're going to be saying to yourself, this does not work. This really sucks. When in fact, you're the one that sucks because you're taking shortcuts. You're not doing the right things. You're not doing them consistently. What we're talking about in this episode here is somebody that is doing the consistent things correctly and still not getting the results. And when Miss Marie and we were able to sit down, like if I was Miss Marie's downline and I call her and I say, hey, I'm doing everything right. I've been doing it for a month and I've only signed up 2 people. Well, right away, she knows something's up. Right away, she's going to be like, ding, 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 ding. Okay. And she's going to verify, Rob, prove to me that you're doing the 5 simple steps. And she may even ask me, take me through, if you are sponsoring me today, Rob, take me through the steps. And she's going to say, I don't want you to look at a sheet of paper. I want you to tell me, because if I've been doing it for a month, I should know by heart. I should not have to look at a piece of paper. Okay. And I should be able to lay it out, Miss Marie, this is what I did, blah, 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 and lay it right out from step 1 to step 5. And at step 5, I say, and this is the consistent, correct business building activity step, which sends me right back to step number 1, which is where I'm getting my leads. And then I make my contact on my lead and I start the whole process over again. She's like, okay, Rob knows what he's talking about. It's obvious Rob's doing that. Okay. Miss Marie's going to say, hey, Rob, are you using the keywords? Are you making up your own message? Or are you leaving some keywords out? No, Miss Marie, I'm doing it absolutely correct. Okay, Rob, say the message to me. Okay, she's going to put me on the spot. Not to embarrass me, not to catch me in a lie. That's not her purpose. She wants to see not only if, in fact, I am using it. If I am, I should be able to speak it without any hesitation and without any problem. Okay. And I may make a mistake here and there, but she'll know for the most part that, hey, okay, he's delivering this message. And she's going to hold him strictly accountable. Rob, I know a couple keywords out and cannot do that. Those could be the words that could turn the table on some people. Do not leave those out. Okay. But at the same time, she might be saying to herself, well, Rob's delivering this message on a Zoom call, phone call, whatever. And she'll say, you know what? He's talking too low. And you know what? He's talking too slow. This guy is as boring as it gets, Or, hey, he's talking too fast. He needs to slow down. He's slurring his words. He's going so fast. And they're running together. There's no clear, concise description coming across to the listener. All right? So we need to get him to slow down. He's fired up. He's excited, but we got to get him to slow down. So she's having you say the message for multiple reasons, not necessarily to catch you in a lie. She wants to see if you know what you're talking about. She wants to see your posture, and she can see it or hear it over the phone. Okay. And she might say, well, Rob, is this how you deliver the message when you talk to your prospects? Yeah. Okay. Guess what? We got a problem. Or, hey, that's good. All right. Just keep that up. Don't worry about it. She moves on to the next potential issue. Okay. And one of the hidden things, Miss Marie, that can be a real problem is they turn those, they get so nervous, especially in the beginning. Marie sets up at Starbucks for Rob. Marie's a seasoned veteran, and she's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to meet Rob. And, I got 20 minutes. And she sticks to her 20-minute timetable. And she's professional. She stays on track. She knows exactly what that meeting's about. She's going to do her meeting. And you know what? She's like a machine. And she goes from Rob to Sally to Danny to Timmy to Tommy. And she's doing the same thing with each one of us. Okay? 20, 25 minutes, but the same thing. All right. There's other people that will take that meeting with Rob and they deliver the music to the ear's message. And then Miss Maria, they'll get through that. If it gets awkward, you know what they do? They start turning it into a social call, whether it's on the Zoom or in person. They can sense the awkwardness. They can sense the hesitation. And all of a sudden, you know what, to relieve that tension and whatever, instead of sitting there quietly, which is the most powerful thing you could do, until they speak. And there's a lot of, this, Miss Marie, there's a lot to let the first person to speak loses, in negotiating. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense? Okay. And a lot of people are, really put off by that silence. Okay. But here's the thing, guys. You're not playing mind games with it. What it does, these little things tell you where you are in this relationship, if you want to use that term, or in this situation, okay? And you have to realize that when it turns into a social call because of that silent awkwardness, all of a sudden you've taken a music to the ears message, which you did correctly, and now you've pretty much destroyed it. Because now you've turned this 20-minute meeting into a 40-minute meeting. You're behind. You accomplished absolutely nothing. You let them off the hook. And you're wondering why you're not succeeding, right, Miss Marie? Because people get nervous, and rightfully so. We all do.
Well, and you refer to it as an awkward silence, and I think that's a little bit of a misnomer. It's okay for it to be quiet. I'm finding that more and more people struggle with that silence in this instant gratification society where we have the news of the world at our fingertips and our smartphones and everything else. So most people are occupying every second of every day with some sort of noise going on. But you have to keep in mind, when you're meeting with a prospect and you're delivering that music to the ears message, it is packed with those key words and information that they may not have considered before. They just may need a moment to think. You have to become comfortable with that silence. There's really no reason for it to be awkward. There's nothing wrong with silence. And especially if you're meeting at a Starbucks, it's real easy to kind of fill that time. You pick up your cup of coffee, tea, whatever it is you have, and you take a slow little sip and just let the time go. Give them the space to think about what you've just said, to process some of the information that you've given them, because they're probably starting to think about, how does this fit in with my goals? What am I really after? And can I make this work? Because what's going to come at the end of that silence is they will break the silence. They'll start asking questions.
Yeah.
And that gives you an opportunity to evaluate where they are in the process, rather than you becoming uncomfortable with that silence and then starting to talk about something else, which totally derails their train of thought and perhaps
Yes.
where they would have taken the conversation. I've
That's
seen
right.
more people talk themselves out of a potential
Yes.
prospect
Yes.
than not.
Yes.
By not saying anything, you can't say the wrong thing.
Aaron, man, you always come up with those cool things. I'm so jealous. You must read a lot.
I read a fair amount.
It shows. You know what? She's absolutely right, guys. Here's the other thing. And anytime you turn that music to the ears message into a social visit, you are losing that person, like she said. It's better off to say nothing and walk out with your meeting intact than it is to destroy it by going into, well, how many kids do you have, or how many hours do you work, and in something awkward, something stupid that's not even related. And yet you did all the other stuff right. You blew everything you did right out of the water by doing one simple thing wrong, but it's a powerful wrong. Something could just blow everything out of the water. All right. So with that being said, that's another reason why people do everything right. Okay. And you said, well, Rob, you just said they didn't do it right. No, I said they delivered the message right. What they didn't do was maintain the silence. And Miss Marie, a lot of times, even in this situation, what can you do if that awkward silence, guys, makes you feel uncomfortable and you say to yourself, what do I say? This is awkward. You can use this. I've done this many times. Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, where's your interest level on what I just shared with you? Okay. And that keeps the conversation, that keeps the meeting moving forward in a professional way, all about business, and it eliminated that awkward moment, that awkward silence that you have. And they can tell you right there where they are, right, Miss Marie? And and then you can say, oh, well, that's great. Here, go to the website, and since you've got that much interest, and let's set up a follow up, and then I've got to go. It's on you to close out that meeting in a professional way with no awkward silence and with no social, how would you say? I don't want to say social interaction, but not to where it becomes a social call, a social meeting. Okay. You certainly don't want that to take place. The other thing that you have, guys, when you're out there and you're building a business and you're doing a 90-day mini blast and you're saying, okay, I'm going to do this for 90 days. And then after 75 days, you say, I'm really tired. I'm going to quit. Or you're doing it for 2 or 3 days and you take 2 or 3 days off. We covered that before. Guys, that is a recipe for disaster. You cannot expect to reach your 90-day goals by taking that kind of activity. You can't expect this return on this much effort or sporadic effort, okay? Once again, Miss Marie and I could focus in on that real fast if you're telling us the truth when we ask the questions, because we know that that's another thing that people kind of slack on, okay? Because we all have busy lives. Look, we get it, okay? And the thing is that we know that it's all about, that really sucked yesterday. I didn't get as much done as I wanted to, but you know what? Tomorrow's another day, and I'll get up and I'll do better and I'll do my best to make up that lost ground. And that's the type of attitude you got to have. You're not going to have every day that's going to be consistent. You're going to have ups and downs, and you got to have a strong heart and thick skin and just keep moving forward each and every day. All right. Now, the thing is, once again, if you're doing the 5 simple steps correct, and you say you're doing correct, and you can prove to us you're doing them correct, then we're going to focus in on you, because that's the only other variable there is. That's the reason why we're kind of hitting you guys over the head with some of these examples, okay? Because we know basically where the pitfalls are. And when it comes to a human being, we know what human beings will defer to when they get awkward, when they get in an uncomfortable situation, when they don't know what to say. Things trying to tend to disintegrate very quickly. They take a nosedive. Ms. Marie, can you imagine being on a negotiating team for the United States and going to Russia or China and sitting across the table with these very well-educated people that are very versed in what they do and been doing it for 30 years and are great communicators, and you're sitting there going, or or you don't know what to say, or you don't know how to come back, or you're not prepared to answer the questions, you talk about awkward silence. And you say, well, what's that got to do with what we're talking about today? Because, guys, it's no different. You're sitting across the table, not from a person from China or from Russia, but you're sitting across from someone who may be more educated than you, someone that may be more intelligent than you, someone that may be more motivated than you, can read people well. That can be a very intimidating environment. And if you get off course in your 5 simple steps, you will get lost in the shuffle, right, Miss Marie? You've got to stay with the system. And if you stay with the system, then guess what? The steps work. Miss Marie and I know that. We know the steps work. That's the reason why we're going to ask you to prove to us that you're doing the steps. And if we feel that you reasonably are doing those steps, we know that we have to focus in on you. Miss Marie, rarely does the economy have anything to do with it. Rarely does the political environment have anything to do with it. We can never say never in those situations. But our experience has shown the more unstable the economy is, the more unstable the political environment is, the better network marketing does. Right, Miss Marie?
That is true. And that's one of the things we've mentioned before too. When the economy starts looking like things are going to get difficult or inflation starts rising, things start becoming more expensive, people are looking at ways to make some extra money, because you can only cut your spending so much to maintain a certain lifestyle. You can only save so much. You can only spend so many hours in a day earning an income. So as people begin to understand the leverage that the network marketing industry provides you in terms of your time, it becomes really attractive to busy people.
Absolutely. And anyways, let's kind of summarize and bring this to a close, because we're coming up on 35 minutes here, and that's more than enough time to cover this subject for today. So let's just kind of summarize. Look, if you're doing everything right, and we can only speak for the 5 simple steps, okay? But if you're with a business building system and you know that you're doing everything right, and if you are counseling with your upline leadership or whoever created that system, it's up to you to be sincere and honest with them when they ask you sometimes tough, difficult, direct questions. Because if you don't tell them the truth when they ask you the questions, they cannot help you. All right. And the same thing with Miss Marie. If we were on the phone with you, we're going to ask you questions about the 5 simple steps. Why? Not to embarrass you, as I said, but because we want to make sure that you know what the 5 simple steps are and that you are in fact doing them. Because we know that if we ask you a question and we say, please don't look at your nose, please don't do it, just tell us from your heart, we know that if you can answer those questions that you have been doing them for the most part. Okay, then we're going to get a little more detail. Why do we do this? Because we know that the weak point, the weak link, is what? The human being. The steps work. They're inert. They've been working for 60 plus years. They're not going to change. We know that. Miss Marie and I know that. So we're not going to waste our time judging the 5 simple steps. What we're going to do is we're going to look at the individual. And we know what weaknesses the individuals have, and we know what to focus in on to find those weaknesses, because we know more times than not, it's going to be the human being at fault, not the system. So if you're not getting success, if you're not getting the results you want, and you are the type of person where you're willing to look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I honestly doing the right things consistently? And if you're going to be honest with yourself and the answer is no, then guess what? You are miles ahead of 99% of the people out there, because a lot of people will not. They'll blame everything else but themselves. Okay, they'll make up excuses. Oh, no, this. Oh, no, that. Marie did this. Marie said that. Rob did this. Rob said that. Okay, they're going to blame everybody else but themselves. Or they're going to have every other excuse imaginable why they weren't able to do things correctly. So with that being said, there is very few reasons why any of you should not experience success with the 5 simple steps. To be honest with you, this episode could have been skipped over if it wasn't for the fact that the variable, the human being, you, me, Marie, wasn't such a fly in the ointment. Okay. And because we felt that it was important to have this episode to touch on this subject matter, so that you guys understand that you can be honest during an evaluation, because your future in this industry depends on you being honest with the person that's asking you those questions. If you really want to succeed, because you could be one mistake away, just one mistake. And some people, as the wife said today, we had a discussion today, and she said, sometimes you're so far in, you can't see around you very well. And she's right. And that's what happens. Miss Marie, you got anything to add while I'm rambling?
Yeah, the only thing I was going to say is you said, us being humans and the mistakes we make are kind of the fly in the ointment. But I have to tell you, that's actually a good thing, because 99% of the time, it is something you have control over and you can change. Therefore, you do have the ability to be successful. If something's going on external to your activity and your business that you have absolutely no control over, and that's driving your success, then you're not going to be successful. And at that point, there's no hope. But as long as it's something you have control over, you can make the change. You still have that hope. You still have that ability to succeed at the level you want to get to. You just have to be open to the coaching, the mentorship from your upline or whoever you're using to help you evaluate your business. And you can make those changes, and success is just that one little change away. Yep,
that's right. Well said. And that's all it is, guys. More times than not, it's a very simple fix. You just got to have the right people to evaluate. So, all right. So if you're going to have somebody evaluate you, guys, you got to do your part. You got to play your role. And that is to be honest, answer the questions honestly. It's the only way you're going to get help and identify what's going on. Okay. So in closing, if you're doing everything right, you should get success. Okay. Even moderate success. You should not get low to no success. If you're getting low to no success, there's something wrong. Get with somebody that knows what they're doing, knows the business, knows the questions to ask, someone that's going to hold your feet to the fire, not in a mean way, but in a way that's going to help you. All right. And you have to do your part by answering those questions honestly. It's the only way you're going to figure it out. And once again, it's typically the person that's at fault, not the system, especially a system like this. It's based on the fundamental principles of the business building process. All right, Ms. Marie, are we are done. Okay. And real quick, guys, just so you know, we have a podcast replay of the whole week. Okay. So in other words, this Friday, the whole week's podcasts are going to be on our podcast replay page. You can see it right here. Okay. And you want to make sure that you go there. That way you can listen to the previous week's episode uninterrupted, all in one convenient location. Plus, you can get a free gift too. As you can see right there, you're going to be able to get a free gift. And the free gift will be up for the whole week. We have the 3 leaders here, and it could be that gift. It could be another gift. It's going to be an ebook, and it could be another little sweet surprise that we throw in there every once in a while. But for the most part, 99% of the time, it's going to be an ebook. All right. With that being said, go there and listen to the podcast all week. You can go there every Friday and listen to them. And it's for your convenience. And while you're there, check out our store. We have a wonderful array of fantastic information that you will not get anyplace else. All right, tomorrow's podcast, Miss Marie, is number 206. Believe it or not, we're racing so fast to that 300. It's not even funny.
207. Today was 206. Tomorrow's 207.
207. That's right. She's right. I made boo-boo. Wait a minute. I got the wrong one up there.
That's all right. Number 207, we're going
there it is. Tomorrow's subject. They did what with the comp plan? What in the world did they do that comp plan?
The comp plan changed. We need to talk about that.
So we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. We did a little bit. We touched on this subject a little bit last week. We felt like we needed to take a deeper dive into it this week. So we're going to take a real good look at what in the world did they do that comp plan? Oh my God, you got to be kidding me. All right, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Once again, please share our website, themlmsolution.net, and our hashtag themlmsolution with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. With Marie, with that being said, we're going to hop off here. Everybody, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube channel, Facebook page. That's where you can find us. See you then, 11 a.m.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast. Download our podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast platforms. Visit our website at www.themlmsolution.net for additional important information, show details, and past shows. Follow us on Parler, Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, or the get notified button while visiting our other social media platforms.